without further ado, yeah, he's an influencer / circlet COC. He is also a wonderful father. He's an actor. He was a bartender in the Hollywood area and found something better called ACN. He's an awesome husband, and he's a giver, and he gives regardless of whose organization. I don't know about you. Like I said, he's one of my favorite speakers. I've said that many years because he is. Matter of fact, the co-founders found out not only that, he's a great speaker on stage. He's one of the co-founders, what I call go-to speakers, because he makes everything so simple. It's like last week. If you did not see last week, go back to the channel, right, Sharon? She goes, that's right. It was powerful. It was so powerful. And without further ado, we can't wait to hear what Platinum Regional Vice President, Mr. Dean Tarrolly has to say this morning. Good morning.
Thomas, can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We have a plane landing in my front yard, apparently. It's crazy living over here in Burbank. Like right when you called me, big jet took off. So
the Eagles landing, huh?
Man, I'm telling you, right? Yeah, I had a late night last night. So, you know, I'm coffeeed up. I got my notes. I got a couple things to share with you guys that I think will be helpful, right? I'm with you, man. I'm gonna have some coffee with you. We're not having a fireside chat. We're having a coffee clutch chat. So let me start where I always like to start, you guys. You know how I feel about Mr. Thomas. He and I were texting last night as well. Look, it's really easy to take leadership for granted. And you know what it's easy to do? It's also easy, I think this is funny to me. Isn't it easy to criticize leadership? And you want to know what's interesting about that? It's the leaders that put themselves out on a limb. It's the leaders that become vulnerable. It's the leaders that when they have a vision and they want to do something and they try to help, you know what? Something that I've learned, and I know Mr. Thomas knows this, and he probably knows this better than me. It is a fruitless enterprise to try to help people that don't want to be helped. And they won't even, I know Dave Culver just went, wow, I love that guy. Dave, I love you, man. But I'm telling you, and here's the problem is, and by the way, I'm guilty of it. We get emotionally tied up and caught up with people and their actions, their behaviors, the way they treat someone doesn't change. And we keep trying to push a rope. And, you know, you hear these cliche things in ACN. Well, you know, you can't want it more for your team than they want it for themselves. You guys, that's so true. And so when you get on a call like this, the reason I do look forward to, you know, these Thursday calls is just by default, you guys being here, it lets us know that there's something there for you in ACN. What that is, that's not up to me. That's not up to Mr. T. That's up to you. But there's something there. And a fire starts with a spark, right? So you guys, whether it's me or any of the other leaders, and certainly Mr. Thomas, don't take these calls for granted. You know, a message that I've been saying for a couple of years to you guys is, you know, I'm hoping that you're not going to be just an observer and that you're going to be a participant and that you're going to take action in the things, the few basic things that we do to build a business. But also, before you come down on other people, be sure you check yourself. Before I ever come down, be sure you check yourself first. You know, it creates an interesting circumstance when people start to come down on you, but they don't know the basics. Right? It's interesting, right? Mr. Thomas is laughing. You guys, this is a real conversation. Your team says, what about this and what about that? And you talk to them about Flash Wireless, and they don't even know that Flash Wireless isn't Sprint anymore. How in the world are we going to have a conversation when you give me a break? Give me a break, man. So here's why I wanted to start with this today. Okay. let me tell you, and we're going to have some notes if you take them. I mean, you know how I feel about notes. I'm a big fan of note taking. Do what you want. Mr. Thomas, I do not commit it to memory. You couldn't remember the grocery list your spouse gave you. Why would you commit your business to your memory? Okay. So here's the thing I want you to know. First of all, Mr. Thomas, thanks for the opportunity to hang out with you guys on Thursdays this month. And here's what I want you to know. Write this down. What you do matters. Now that's simple. Well, of course, Dean, of course it matters. Well, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. There's a few groups of people here. Well, what you do matters to you. I mean, shoot, you don't want to be living somebody else's life. What you do matters to your group. Are you leading by example? And believe it or not, what you do matters to the naysayers, because were they right about you or were they wrong about you? Were they right about this opportunity or were they wrong about this opportunity? Mr. Thomas, it's the truth. It matters. It matters. And let me tell you something. I know a lot of these faces on here are very familiar. You guys have been around for a minute. You've been around for a minute. So, like, it's time. So last week, what I talked about was how important it is, especially with all the things that are coming from the company, how important it is to keep this thing simple. I talked about consistency and exposures. Are you consistent? Now look, you guys, here's just a fact. From last Thursday to this Zoom we're on right now, if there have been no exposures and a new customer has not hit the books, your business hasn't built. And it is my obligation to share that with you. You know, it's funny because I do a call on Sunday nights at 6. I do a leadership call, and Sharian has been on that call a bunch of times. Sharian and her glasses. I love. I mean, that's half the thing is which set of glasses is she going to wear, right? And but you know what? You can tell something about somebody's energy, right? And you know, we've talked about these types of things on that call. So I want to tell you guys this, okay? And I know this is, Mr. Thomas, I know this is going to strike a chord. So here goes. Are y'all with me? Okay, here goes. Here's a question for all of you. When we talk about this idea of keeping this simple, okay? Here's the question you have to ask yourself. Why do the leaders bring this up in almost every training on every topic in ACN? Think about it. Why does almost every leader bring this up on every training on every topic in ACN? Why? Why does this why does this come up every single training from every single trainer on every single topic? And I'm going to tell you why. Because ACN and the concept of the model is so simple. We feel as though we need to add more to it to make it valuable, to make it worth something. Because if someone sees something that is too simple, it is hard to equate value to it until you understand this concept. That simplicity, as I mentioned last week, simplicity, that's where your hard work is. Don't make the message the hard work. Make the hard work. You're getting good at simplifying your message within ACN. What does that look like? How simple is your peak? How simple is your presentation, your explanation? How simple is your game plan to take someone from signing up on your team to getting them a result? We covered that last week. So let's talk about the danger of overthinking, right? Y'all agree that we overthink this thing? Do you guys agree that a lot of people out there prepare to prepare? Okay. So RVP Jocelyn Driscoll's like, yes. Okay. So if we all agree that we overthink this thing, overthinking stops action. If there are no actions, there can be no results. And now you're a spectator. So you guys, I don't know if you spent $199 or $499 or whatever you spent to be a spectator, but man, that's an expensive ticket to watch a whole bunch of other people win. That's an expensive ticket to watch a whole bunch of other people, go out and do something, to go out and get bloodied, right? Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. In fact, not only is it okay, it's necessary. So understand something, this whole idea, when I do the presentation for any of you guys who've seen it, when I explain ACN and I talk about moving left to right, it is impossible to move left to right until you get on the field. Right? So here's a couple things to think about. And you can challenge yourself. You guys have heard me, I think it was last year at some point, and I thought, how long have I been doing this call? Like a decade. Here's something to think about. Anybody in any industry that's good at what they do, they self-evaluate. In sports, they call it self-scouting. You scout yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And until you have an honest conversation about those things, I think that you fall into the spectator side. And then at one point, what'll happen is it will be so uncomfortable for those of you, listen to me, there are people on this call that it will become so uncomfortable for you to be a spectator and watch another event go by, watch another national, watch another Tahoe, watch another event, watch another Fort Lauderdale go by, and a whole new grip of people are getting promoted within the company. And you're a spectator. Or try these shoes on for size. Enough's enough. You're done overthinking it. It doesn't matter what the result is. What matters is you do something that gives you a result, so we can look at what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're acting, how you're being, your state, all of those things. And now we can start to piece this together. We can't correct action if there's no action. We can't adjust what you're doing if you're not doing anything. Does this make sense? Look, ACN is such a gift where we get to play in the world of big business, legitimately big business, industries that are billions of dollars. The ability to create leverage and build an organization where you as the leader learn the skills to best serve your team. Now, do leaders make mistakes? Absolutely. I made one last night. I mean, sure, I probably made 100 yet, but there's one late last night. There's one that I made. I took responsibility for it. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. There was one person who was perfect. And, for a lot of us believe that. So my point is this, is you see what you're doing, you self-evaluate, having a coach or a mentor or someone to talk to about your progression in your skill set. What is your progression in your skill set in ACN? So check this out. I know and believe that you know how to pique someone's interest. Get them curious. If you look at all the different ways to do it, whatever Al teaches you, that's what you should do. Do you look at other ways of making money? Do you keep your business options open? I found a business, I think it's amazing. I'd love to get your opinion. Any of those ways to be able to pique people. Can we all agree, you guys, that everyone on this call knows how to do that? Yes or no? Can we please put a check mark next to that one? Fair enough? Okay, cool. Thank you for those of you who have your screens on. Here's the next one. You know how to pique someone's interest. I know that you know how to invite. I do. Well, what's this all about? Well, you know what? I'm having a Zoom on Thursday night. You know Zoom. Everybody knows Zoom. Can you jump on a Zoom for 20 minutes, kind of get you the details on this thing? See if something catches your attention. So I know that you know how to invite someone. Do y'all agree with that? Hi, Magda. Do y'all agree with that? Okay, cool. Well, that's number 2. Put a check mark next to that. Here comes a good one. I know that you all know how to go to your online store. There's 2 ways to do it. You to go to the name of the store.acnibo.com, or you put in your IBO number.acnibo.com, and poof, there's your online store that you had nothing to do with creating, but you get to own it. What? 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 You had nothing to do to create it. You had nothing to do to manage it. You have nothing to do to operate it, but you own it. Give me a break. So here's what I know. You guys know how to sign up a service. I mean, you guys agree with me that we all know how to go to our online store and actually sign up a service, whether it's Flash Mobile or Spectrum or DirecTV or any of those things. Do y'all agree with that? Yes or no? So we can put a check mark next to that, right? We have 3 big check marks. You know how to pique someone. You know how to invite someone. You know how to sign up a service. Okay. Hey, Lance Kelly. So here's what I know. I know that you know how to promote an event. And here's how I know it. In order to promote an event, you have to know how to attend an event. And you guys are all on Zoom. In fact, a lot of you have been on this thing for years. So please don't tell me that you all don't know how to get to an event. Well, here's my question for you. How would you get you to this event? Oh my God, you got to hear from Mr. Thomas. He's a legend in the industry, not just the company. He puts together an array of speakers, all different backgrounds, race, creed, color, gender, everything. And they pour into people every morning, 9 a.m. for 20 to 30 minutes. Well, what do they talk about? You got to be on it. So the hint here is promoting an event. The crow gets it. Promoting an event is not the event. So you need to listen. Promoting an event is not the event. Promoting the event is promoting the people. It's promoting the person. It's promoting the leader. See, here's what I know. You guys, let me ask you a question, okay? And I'm just doing this for fun. If we told you that Al Thomas and I were getting together at XYZ restaurant in Vegas for 8 hours, and we're going to break down a 1-day session to help everybody change their PIN. No cost, no anything, but you're invited, and you only get to bring one person. No cost. In fact, we'll probably provide the food, all that stuff, but it's one day master. By the way, Magda just said, I'm in. And by the way, guess where Magda lives? Magda lives here in Southern California. I said in Vegas. She said, I'm in. Heather, going. See, Dave, yes. The point of that is, I know that you, Lance details, I know that you know how to promote an event. Can we put a check mark next to that one? Yes or no? Yeah? Okay. So we have some check marks here. You know how to peak. You know how to invite. You know how to sign a service. And you know how to promote an event. So what is ACN? What is it? Oh, that's right. You guys can't unmute. Hold on a minute. Hang on. What is it? It's what we just described. So if you're not doing one of those things, if you're not doing one of those 4 check marks, please do not hold ACN or your leadership to a higher level of responsibility than you're holding yourself. That's not freaking fair. Knock it off. Don't do that. Now, the flip side of the coin is this, because there's a glass half full part coming right now. What if you exceed not only your coach's expectation, but you exceed your own expectation? Can I tell you guys something? When you exceed what you set out to do, it doesn't matter what the result is. What matters is you were playing the game. You were in the game. You were doing what is required. The results will come when you understand that it's a numbers game and your skill set is going to improve the more you do it, not the more you watch. And you have a right to be successful at this. Did you guys catch what I said? The more you do it, not the more you watch. Does that mean don't be on Al Thomas's call? Absolutely freaking not. Be on this call. Get that information. But please, you guys, what does Al say at the end of every freaking call? In one way or another, he says, please go do it. Go do it. So I hope you guys are hearing a slightly different tone in my voice today, because that is by design. And every once in a while, for some people on a more regular basis than others, we need a, you know, I better watch how I say this. We need a swift kick, right? Like, you guys, we're coming up on Easter Sunday, right? Every Easter, I watch the 10 Commandments every Easter. And it's really funny getting somebody to move into action. I don't know if you guys look at this, is not, I'm an amateur on Christianity and all that stuff. And even though I'm not gonna, but I do know this. I do remember the scene when Moses leads them all out of Egypt. Do you guys remember when these throes of people are leaving Egypt and he's finally leading them out of bondage and out of Egypt? And there's a donkey who won't move. And the little kid got to pull the rope. The guy says, we finally got out and now he won't go. Like, this is crazy. So I tell you this because it's go time for you. With the launch of Impact Health Share, I am letting you guys know. Let me be very crystal clear about this, so I'm not mincing any words. For those of you who are going to get excited and get started when we launch Impact Healthcare, I would like to congratulate you on taking 10th place, because there are people right now who are building, who are promoting, who are creating anticipation, who are lining up names and numbers. Look, we're about to launch this thing. It could be something as simple as, are you happy with your healthcare? Are you happy with your health insurance? And guess what? The overwhelming majority of people are going to say, probably not. Why? Because it's too restrictive, in network, out of network. They can't pick their favorite doctor. It's over expensive, all those things. And we can eliminate all those things. So I'm letting you guys know when this launches, that Roxanne just said several people got quotes already. And by the way, by next week, I bet Roxanne says she doesn't have several people that have quotes already. She's going to have a grip of people with quotes already. Like a leader is anticipating what's going to happen. But you have to decide if you're going to play this thing to win. You just got to decide if you're going to play it to win. And you guys know how I feel about this. If you're playing to participate and that's what you're getting out of this, I support it 100%. Just don't get upset at ACN and do not get upset at any of the leaders if you're not winning the way you want, if you're not doing the things that are required. So I have a little something to show you. What's up, Williamson? I have a little something to show you. So Mr. Thomas, can I share one quick thing before we go? So you guys, I hope you're in this to win this, and whatever that looks like for you and your family. So
this is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.
I want you guys to watch something. Watch this. He says you play to win the game. Now focus on the screen. I want you to see the look that Coach Herm Edwards gives the person who asked that ridiculous question. It's like he's looking at that person and they're speaking a different language. Look at the way he looks at this person. You play to win the game. All these little complaints, all these little bitchy moany sessions, you play to win. So watch what he does. Just watch this. This is the stuff I love.
This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.
So why did I want to show you guys that? Really simple. You matter. You play to win. If you're choosing not to play to win, I don't have a problem with it. That's the choice that you've made. But if you're telling us that you're choosing to play to win the game, if you are saying that, take the necessary actions with the 3 simple things that we do. And for the love of the reason why you're doing ACN, start getting good at this, get some fear out of your way, and go take some action and go play to win for you and your family and the decision that you made to do this and to do it well. So that's it, Mr. Thomas. That's what I got. I hope it was helpful. I will turn it over to you, my friend.